Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Now, for today's session, I want you to imagine you're a secret agent. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to extract maximum marks from a hostile, high-pressure Cambridge exam paper in 20 minutes or less. We are cracking the ultimate code for the IGCSE Additional Mathematics 0606 exam strategy. Specifically, we're zeroing in on a high-value target that literally trips up thousands of students every single year, mastering domain and range notation. We're going to systematically break down exactly what the examiners are hunting for, completely demystifying the grading process so you can secure those marks and get out. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to listen to this intel straight from the senior examiners themselves. They state the difference between a B and an A star in additional mathematics often comes down to how well you understand writing domain and range using correct notation. That is a massive game-changing statement. We aren't just talking about scraping a couple of stray marks here. We're talking about entire grade boundaries shifting based on this single, specific mathematical competency. It completely sets the high stakes for our extraction mission today. If you want that A star, getting this right isn't just optional, it's absolutely foundational. Section 1. Core Analytical Principles. Let's look at the foundational theory. When an examiner looks at your answer for a domain and range question, they aren't just checking a box to see if you memorized a standard formula. No way. You are being assessed across 3 distinct targeted cognitive domains: knowledge and understanding, application, and analysis. To hit that coveted A-star benchmark, mere knowledge of the rules just isn't enough. You have to show you can seamlessly apply that knowledge to totally unseen scenarios and critically analyze the mathematical boundaries of the specific functions given to you. It's about showing the depth of your mathematical toolkit. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference between an average paper and a top-tier paper. On the left side, we have superficial breadth. Think of a student. Let's call him Alex. Alex panics and just overloads the page with raw mathematical facts, listing everything he knows about functions, hoping something sticks. Examiners actively penalize this lack of focus. Or consider Sam, who rushes and completely misses the command word requirements. Now, look at the right side. Analytical depth. This is what Cambridge academic benchmarks demand. They want logical, structured reasoning. They need to see that you understand exactly why a square root function restricts the domain, or why an asymptote defines the range. Before we continue to our next crucial step, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Section 2. The Procedural Framework. Let's get into the practical steps. Consider this 5-step procedural framework your ultimate exam extraction blueprint. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. What exactly are the command words asking you to do? Step 2. Extract the relevant data. Pull out the specific functions, boundaries, or graphs provided. Step 3. Select the analytical framework. Are you dealing with a quadratic, a trigonometric function, or maybe an exponential? Step 4. Execute with clear notation. This is where you deploy your correct inequality signs or precise set notation. And finally, Step 5, present with correct terminology. Walking through this exact sequence acts as your personal guide, allowing you to dismantle even the most complex, multi-layered problems piece by piece without ever getting overwhelmed. But listen, the execution doesn't stop at the math itself. There are incredibly strict presentation conventions required here: proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and crystal clear annotation. You might have the sheer mathematical genius to solve the domain restriction entirely in your head, but ignoring these strict formatting conventions is a surefire way to bleed points all over your exam paper. If the question explicitly asks for set notation and you just provide a basic inequality, you will lose marks. Presentation is a strict technical requirement, not just a friendly suggestion. Section 3. The method mark strategy. This is where the real points are won. If you take nothing else away from this explainer today, please burn this definition into your memory. The method mark strategy is an assessment protocol where marks are explicitly awarded for the logical process and the correct notation used rather than just the final answer. This literally means getting the correct final number at the bottom of the cage means absolutely nothing if your mathematical process isn't properly documented, step by step, right above it. The examiners aren't just looking for the destination, they want to see the entire architecture of your thought process. Which leads me to ask you a serious question. Why do students find multi-stage analysis and securing these method marks so incredibly hard? Think about it for a second.
It's because, under the intense pressure of a ticking exam clock, our brains naturally just want to jump straight to the finish line. The cognitive load of tracking a complex domain restriction while simultaneously remembering those strict formatting rules is intense. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, AC Exams, at acexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2-3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to acexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions.
Section 4. Top 3 examiner warnings. Let's look at the pitfalls to avoid. We've pulled the data straight from the principal examiner reports, and the crucial point is that you absolutely must avoid these 3 fatal errors. Number 1, confusing cause and effect. In domain and range questions, this usually means confusing the inputs, the x values, with the outputs, the y values. Don't mix up your independent and dependent variables. Number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. As we just discussed, writing the right numbers but in the wrong notation costs you dearly. And number 3, answers that are not specific to the context given. If the question involves a real-world scenario, like measuring time or distance, your domain simply cannot include negative numbers, even if the pure algebra technically allows for it. To help you bypass these exact traps, try this highly actionable memory hack. Create a mnemonic using the first letters of your key domain and range terms to lock in those specific notation rules. Whatever weird, funny, or memorable phrase helps you instantly recall the difference between standard inequalities and formal set notation, use it. Write it down at the very top of your exam paper the literal minute the timer starts. It offloads that cognitive burden immediately, freeing up your brain to focus on the actual problem solving. Section 5. Critical exam evaluation. Let's level up to the top tier. Let's move on and see how this approach builds across the higher order assessment framework. A standard B grade student usually stays at the descriptive level. They just describe what the mathematical function is. An A grade student steps it up to the analytical level. They break down how the function behaves and apply the rules. But the A-star student, they reach the evaluative level. They can evaluate exactly why a certain notation is required, or justify why a specific domain restriction is mathematically necessary compared to other alternatives. That is the gold standard. When you are tasked with this kind of comparative analysis, there is a rigorous checklist you absolutely must follow. You have to identify similarities and differences. You must use comparative connectives to logically link your mathematical thoughts together. You need to support every single comparison with numerical or graphical evidence. And finally, you must draw firm conclusions about their relative importance. Evaluating alternatives and fully justifying your mathematical recommendations is non-negotiable if you want to extract those top-tier marks. Furthermore, you must evaluate the quality of the mathematical evidence itself. Examiners desperately want to see you interrogating the mathematical model. What are the absolute limitations of the function provided to you? What assumptions have been made about the domain? Are there alternative interpretations? And how would they affect your final mathematical conclusion? Showing this high level of critical awareness proves to the examiner that you are a true master of the subject, not just a human calculator.
I cannot emphasize this next point enough, so please pay close attention. Listen to this official examiner alert. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. Generic mathematical theory might be perfectly correct in a vacuum, but if it isn't grounded in the exact specific scenario provided in that specific exam question, you will miss out on all the evaluation marks. Context is absolute king here, guys. Always tie it back to the real-world parameters of the question. Applying just one of the structural techniques we looked at today, like really leaning into that method mark strategy, can completely change the entire trajectory of your final grade. The difference between a B and an A-star is all about precision, process, and presentation. Students who implement these mathematics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at AceTheExams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at AceTheExams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for mathematics and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.